Today, we're talking about the top 3 projects of all time on OpenSea. The biggest NFT drops ever, but we're going to give you their dollar store equivalent.
Okay, so we're talking on OpenSea, so we must be talking about Ethereum drops, not Polygon, but Ethereum drops.
Yeah, but some of the dollar store versions, we might have some other chains for you to get exposure. Not everybody can, buy these ETH NFTs. The gas, it's low. It's super low right now compared to it's been the last 12 months, but it can still get up there.
Yeah, a lot of my friends they can't afford anything. I tell them to start on Cardano.
So what's the number 1 NFT of all time? More sales than anybody. What is the number 1 drop?
I got to go with CryptoPunks.
Yeah, it's definitely CryptoPunks. Right now, it's at 69 ETH.
Nice.
And we're looking at $215,000. This is the biggest drop of all time. It's done more sales volume than anybody.
Real quick.
That's a lot of money.
Fun fact, and I'll ask this as a question. Wasn't CryptoPunks a free drop?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, so it was free, and the company made their revenue by keeping some of the punks.
Okay.
So they bet on themselves. They didn't charge anybody, but they kept some, and then they would sell those to earn income. Larva Labs.
Nice.
So
interesting.
Yeah, basically that's the number 1. That's kind of what the blue chip. It's not the most expensive, profile pic drop, but it is like the OG. Everyone looks at it that way.
It's the one that Visa swept the floor on a few months ago.
Yeah, Visa. I mean, Jay-Z has one. A lot of people have some.
Ben's
punks.
got
Ben,
one.
Carl, I think Arcane Bear. A lot of people definitely have the punks. But there's a couple cheaper versions. There's definitely the dollar store one, but there's one kind of in the middle. It's in Cardano. Do you have one? I don't have one. I'm thinking about getting one.
Space Buds. I was on a Twitter Spaces last night, and there were a couple of people in there that had it as their profile picture, and they do actually look cool. I just haven't researched the project enough to know, like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and FOMO into it. But I think the floor is around 5,000 or 6,000 ADA, right?
Yeah, so Space Buds, it's right now 6,500 Cardano. You can find it on JPEG Store. You can find it at cnft.io. So that's kind of like the middle of the road version. It's the punks of Cardano. So it's a lot cheaper. You're looking at, roughly around, 5% of the price. But it's on Cardano. It's not an Ethereum one. I don't think it'll ever surpass punks in price, but it's definitely kind of the punk equivalent.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe the first major one on that chain.
Yeah, so the floor right now for those are $7,000. So you can get one of those, but we also have the bargain bin version of it on Solana, and then this is kind of, this is a project I like, full disclosure, I have a few. I'm staking them right now. They're earning me money. But, yeah, we're talking about the art punks on Solana. They take the art punk, they take a CryptoPunk art, mix it with a famous painter, and then they'll create their own NFT, and they use AI to create it. They all look pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what I like about that is the community's pretty strong, too. Like, every time you've done a few videos on it, every time you've done a video on it, there's so many comments, so many positive comments. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm holding it forever. Hodl, hodl, hodl. So that's another thing that I really like about this project.
Yeah, it's way up. I think they minted one or two or so, and right now they're 3.7.
Wow.
And still, it's only about 5% of them are listed, meaning 95% of people don't have them listed. A lot of people are staking theirs. It doesn't take much for that floor to move with that few being listed.
Yeah,
so
only 5%.
Yeah, you can find Art Punk on Magic Eden. So that's what we consider. That's kind of like the dollar store version.
Yeah.
You want a little exposure. That's where I would go. All right, number 2. We got the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's the number 2 NFT of all time via sales volume. 98 ETH right now, $300,000.
Yeah, I think unless you've been living under a rock in the NFT space, you definitely would have heard about a Bored Ape. I think everybody's got one. Snoop, Justin Bieber just bought one.
Post Malone, Eminem.
They're all changing their profile pics to them. Bored Ape everywhere. You go on Google, look at Google Trends. It's up there all the time. So I think Ben actually bought one, I think around 52 ETH.
Yeah,
he's
almost
like 2
doubled
or 3
his
months
investment.
Ago. So they've really climbed. I'm definitely priced out. I did have a mutant. I did get rid of my mutant. Which is one of their equivalents. Oh, actually, you have that on the list.
Yeah, so the middle of the road version, still very expensive. The Mutant Ape Yacht Club, I do still have mine.
You still have
I have it listed. It is a lot of money though. They're about 60,000. The floor is 19 ETH, around 60,000.
So just to give you an idea of the kind of volume and action these can get, not to say that they're definitely going to get this, but our Mutant Ape that we both bought basically at the same time. We bought around 3.5 Ethereum. So I want to say that was 3 or 4 months ago. I'm not sure. I can't, but around 4 months ago. and now it's sitting around 20 ETH. So that's a massive move. So when we're talking about the dollar store equivalent, it's because of the price. Now, if those take off, you could see an increase, a dramatic increase like that over time. Not saying it's going to happen in 3 months.
I'm glad you said dollar store equivalent. We do have a dollar store equivalent. Now, this is not something I've totally researched. I just bought two. I'll tell you how I bought it or why I bought it, but it's the Kong Club official. They're only like $100. You can get on OpenSea. They haven't revealed yet. But I saw on pro.nansen.ai, it's one of the tools we use. It's Glassnode for NFTs. The smart mentors had bought a bunch of these. It was the #1 purchase of the smart mentors. They have a feature on there where they follow wallets. They see which wallets are successful, who's flipping, who's making money, and they see what they're buying. The next closest one, I think 3 or 4 buyers were buying. There's like 10 of these OG smart mentors were buying these Kong Club officials. And if you look at the number of owners plus the number of items, basically everyone has one. It's not a bunch of people waiting to dump on you. You know, maybe check it out. I don't know. It's only $100 on something like that. Smart money's buying it. A reveal's coming. You know, maybe get you a couple. Maybe you get a rare. You know, maybe it goes down. But it is only $100. I would consider that a pretty strong, dollar store equivalent.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's also another one on Cardano I'll just mention briefly. I mean, you've heard us talk about it, is Chilled Kongs.
Chilled Kongs,
So very cool art, very similar to the Bored Ape as far as art goes.
Yeah.
Definitely one to check out, and it's on
a cool
Cardano.
community, too.
Yeah, it's a very chilled community.
Yeah, there's the white shirt, white hat, green weed plant. You know, everyone's trying to get Snoop Dogg to buy it. I know if he ever bought that, those things are going to skyrocket.
Oh, yeah,
but
it'll go
the
bananas.
Rat's Dow likes them a lot, too. So, yeah,
cool.
Chilled Kongs, definitely pretty cheap. What are they about, like, around
I think at 500 or
3 4
600.
$5? Yeah,
maybe.
oof, yeah.
They're very cheap.
Not too expensive, so we're still talking about under 1,000. All right, so number 3, this is the third biggest project of all time, as far as sales volume goes. This is a metaverse project. That's right. We're talking about Decentraland.
Oh, I thought you might have said Sandbox, but you're talking about Decentraland. Mana.
Yeah. Mana. Yeah, that's right. Right now, 4.7 ETH for a plot. Looking at $14,000. But for total sales, they're number 3 total.
Wow. Yeah. Unless you're just completely absent from the crypto and the metaverse space, metaverse lands have completely skyrocketed lately. Very good. And you can still find some other chains that are creating their own metaverse, and you can still kind of sneak in at a pretty good price, under 1,000.
Yeah, let's talk about a middle of the road equivalent. I would say the equivalent on Cardano would be Pavia.
I would. There's
some FUD right now, and they're actually kind of at a discount. What's up with their FUD right now?
The guy behind their marketing team backed away from the project, but he fulfilled his end of the deal. So he completed his contract. So that's kind of what the FUD is. Now, you know as well as I do, if you've been in the space, FUD can start anywhere. If you have a previous NFT drop with a smile on it, and then this other NFT drop has the same smile on it, some community is going to say you copied the art or something crazy like that. So it's so easy to rattle people in this space. We do encourage everybody to do your own research when you're going to invest something. But I've personally invested in Pavia, and I think you did too.
I have one. Cardano Buzz was the guy's name. That was his Twitter handle. He deleted his Twitter. It looks like maybe he's just taking a step back from crypto for a while. I don't know if he's just, maybe he's going to come back in a month. I don't know what's going on. But, yeah, the community definitely reacted really strongly, and you can maybe get those still pretty cheap. I think right now they're at 400 Cardano.
Yeah, they're at
400 ADA. You're looking at $400 or what?
They were
420 or
They
so.
were around like 800 or something.
Yeah, they maybe even were touching 900 for a brief period. But, yeah, around 800. I got in at 4. I saw it go up to 8. I had doubled my money. I thought about, maybe I should. I only had one, so I didn't want to sell it. That's why you got to stick to the playbook. It's always good to mint too. I was just a little priced out at getting to at 400.
Sure.
But we do have some dollar store equivalents, even cheaper than the 400.
Unbounded Earth and Boss Cat Planet. Those are the two. Now, again,
on Cardano as well. You can find them on jpeg.store, cnft.io.
There seems to be a lot of FUD around Boss Cat. If you watch the channel, you've seen both of us kind of navigate through this space, talking about some of the FUD on Boss Cat.
Trying to see both sides.
We're seeing both
sides. The community
sides.
loves it. Why does the community love it? Why does the community not really care what they would call haters, what the haters are saying? Or why are the haters being ignored? What is it about the community? Like, are they getting, the wool pulled over their eyes? So it's a very, tense part of the Cardano NFT
Yeah.
ecosystem.
And it's a new space in Cardano. Cardano seems to be a newer NFT space. It's been around for a few months, but as far as like here recently, there's been a kind of a surge of new users on it. So there's a little more FUD going on. Boss Cat Planet is one of them. Everything Boss Cat is a kind of a touchy topic for some people. So again, you need to do your own research, and definitely before you invest any of your money, you look into it and kind of dig through.
But they do have a Boss Planet drop, and really is what it boils down to, what is the community going to do? Is the community going to show up? And they do have a strong community, so, I mean, we'll see. And with Unbounded Earth, they just added a token to their ecosystem, and part of what Unbound is trying to do is also build out a metaverse. So having their own in-game currency is kind of important. We see it with Decentraland and the Mana coin, and you see it with Sandbox with Sand. So I think it's kind of a necessary part to have a successful metaverse. So I'm kind of bullish on Unbounded Earth. I have a few, full disclosure, but I mean, I am interested to see what the team's going to do.
Yeah, I have a few of those. I have minted some of the planets too, so I'm curious to see which one makes it. There seem to be like two metaverse projects for each chain that I think are going to kind of be the front runners of this metaverse movement. So it's going to be curious to see which one moves forward on Cardano.
My take on metaverses, they have non-linear upside. The upside on metaverses is just so nuts, especially when you're getting in early with the mint. Yeah, it could go to 0. You can only lose 1x. But the gains could be 10x, 100x, literally 1,000x. So for me, I'm bullish on metaverse mints especially. But I think that's all we got.
I think that's it.
All right. And, maybe we'll have a new name soon. We'll be talking about that. You got to check the podcast to see the scoop on that.
Yeah.
So
we may be changing our name. So, podcast comes out Friday. So tomorrow.
All right. Well, until then, Pluto is a planet.
Later.